So the section begins with Savitri awaking to the Samana's chant. She joins those tribes who have listened to the call of the Samana, and she also in a hurry hastens to join them. We have seen the Samana, to name him in the story of Savitri, is Ashwapati himself. It is to his call she is coming up and joining, and she is now ready to do what he wants her to do, you see. Human Savitri, you see. Savitri joined the human tribes. She accepts all the limitations, all the conditions, all the restrictions of mortality, the suffering, the pain, the pang, all those things. She accepts them, and although she is divine, she is very human here in the sense that she participates in the suffering of man himself. Unless she participates dynamically in the process of mortality, you cannot get a solution for mortality. Therefore, while participating, she yet keeps her divinity intact. That contact she never loses. There is something in her which is always in contact with her divine nature, with her divine self, you see. In fact, it is only on the basis of that unassailable contact with her source that she can do her work here in mortality. Otherwise, it is impossible, you see, not by human things alone, you see. So, that is the first condition we have got here. She is the divine, she has accepted the mortality, she participates in the mortal condition, yet always keeps the contact with the divine. In other words, what the poetry says, time's message was not for her. She always listened to the message of eternal time, of eternity, of the Supreme Himself. But at the same time, she is in time to do the work in time. Although the message of time is not for her, she is working in the process of time, still keeping contact with eternity. That is the most important thing, you see. Now, when she has come as a divine goddess here in mortality, she brought wonderful gifts of the spirit to man. Love, beauty, joy, oneness, sweetness, harmony, power, strength, light. She brought everything, and she gave to man very lavishly, she disbursed them very freely to everybody here. But the problem was mortality is not ready, earth is not ready to receive her gifts. And instead of acknowledging those gifts, instead of saying thank you for all those things, what she receives from man, from we stupid creatures, is she receives what she receives. She is receiving scorn, hatred. She is offered the crown of thorns, and she has to suffer all the conditions here in the mortal state itself. You see. Now, this is unfortunate. Perhaps that is also necessary. Unless she goes through that process, she cannot really do her work also, you see. Savitri has to understand that thing also, that aspect, you see. So, she is she is trapped in the earthly jinn, as he says, in the snare, in the process, in the DNA, in the whole working of earth. She is trapped in that thing completely, you see. She has to accept that thing, but she does not grudge that thing at all. She won't grudge that thing at all, you see, because she has her work to do. Her contact is still always there with the Supreme. Why she is here for, what for she is here, that does not go away at all in any case from her, you see. In fact, while she is here, she is also carrying with her the anguish of the gods. The gods have concern for us. I am quickly running through what we have done. The anguish of the gods. Gods have concern for us. Gods are not there sitting idly and enjoying the heavenly bliss for themselves alone. They have a work, they have got an assignment to do there. They had to do certain things there. Unless those things are done there, things cannot happen here also. So it is a kind of a multiple preparation to change things upon earth. The gods had to do some work and it has to be done. Now the gods therefore have some concern all the while. What is the concern for them? Yes, man is suffering, man is under the grip of death, of falsehood and all that kind of a thing, and they have to do some work for that kind of a thing. So they have constant anguish, but man is not ready. Man has not opened out to those possibilities yet. His nature is too inconscient to receive the gifts they are going to offer to them. Now, Savitri is carrying that anguish of the gods also in her soul. Obviously, what the gods are concerned about man, Savitri is also concerned about man, but she is concerned perhaps in a much more intense manner than the gods, because the gods are concerned from there. While entering here into the process of mortality, living in the suffering world, and then having that concern is a different thing than concern from there. So her concern, her anguish is in that sense is more powerful, more effective also in a certain sense. Unless the divine takes a form of mortal or immortal, he cannot solve the problem of mortality. And he has to suffer, he has to undergo through all these things. So Savitri, while she is carrying the anguish of the gods in her soul, she is something doing much more than what the gods are doing, you see. And in that whole process, Savitri sees that the entire cosmic dread is with her. It is not her personal dread, personal fear, personal anguish. It is the dread of the cosmos, of the world, which is presenting itself to her. The cosmic dread is Savitri's dread, you see. It is much more than, in that sense, the dread felt by the gods, you see, in that sense, you see. Her cosmic, Savitri's dread is cosmic dread, you see. She has to bear. In other words, the problem of man cannot be disentangled from the problem of the cosmos. All the forces of nature are working on man. So if you want to solve the problem of man, you have to really spread your network, so to say, wide enough to catch all those other things also, the cosmic possibilities which are there. So the cosmic dread is Savitri also. But at the same time, while the cosmic dread is Savitri's dread, Savitri's concern is for each and every creature here. She has the golden key in her hand to see the oneness of all the souls. Her love is the love of the universal mother. The universal mother's love for her children, it is that love Savitri is having. It is the oneness of all the souls Savitri sees. And therefore, while the cosmic dread is there, she also sees the love spread everywhere. And it is that love which can really bring out something and do something for Savitri also. So, she has got that flaming key of ecstasy in her hand, of oneness. The cosmic load is there, and with that key, then she is doing her work constantly here. Now, Savitri is doing work here. What is the work she is doing here? She is actually doing here the work of the immortal, the immortal's unshared work is what Savitri is doing. Immortal is doing for man something, but that work is not shared here on earth. So unless somebody comes and shares it here and does something here, that is not effective at all. So Savitri is actually engaged with that universal mother's love, with the immortal's unshared work upon earth. And that really then becomes a powerful means for her to tackle every situation here, you see. And with that, Savitri is making an advance, so to say. And what does she say then? She sees that she has the memory, so to say, of the scary event which is going to occur in her life. The scary, the forbidding event of the death of her lover. Death of a lover. That is the dread which is there in her hand. Means the entire cosmic load, cosmic misery, cosmic thing is quintessence in Savitri's misery of that moment, and she is now waiting, so to say, for the scary moment of her lover's death, you see, on that sense. You see. And Savitri has to prepare for that, she has to away here. But while she was doing all these things for long ages, eons, since the beginning of her appearance here upon earth, she was lying in original somnolence. She was not awake to the work she has to do here. She was in somnolence, listless, not active to carry on the work for which she has come here. She is not aware of that thing at all until now. In other words, a long evolutionary process had to undergo by the working of nature herself before Savitri steps into the process and takes it forward. Means nature has to carry out certain work, Prakriti has to build up the evolutionary foundation so that Savitri can step in and then make it forward, make it move forward. That is the original somnolence in which Savitri was lying all along. All these eons, Savitri was there, you see. Now, suddenly, she awakes out of that somnolence because the moment she puts her hand on her bosom, she finds that there is some ache there in her heart. She does not know where from that ache has come, why it is there, for what purpose it is there. She has no knowledge yet of that ache in her heart. You see, she finds it is the body's voiceless call which summons her to her work now. You see, body is voiceless, not mind, not vital, but the very physical. It is that which is demanding now Savitri's attention. That look, there is the deep ache at the root of things, and she has to attend to that ache. What is that ache? That ache is kind of reflected in the death of her husband. In the death. And it is that ache now, that pain which is there in her heart, she has to find out that thing. And out of that somnolence, suddenly the memory doors open out. The memories casements, the magic casements of kids, they open out and she goes back to the past, to the very beginning, where from that ache has come, that pain has come. What is the origin? She is sort of moving back in time to find out, trace the origin of that ache in time itself. She is actually going back to the Big Bang moment of time, where from things have started, and the whole thing has begun from that. She is going back. So, in other words, Savitri's occult work is actually first concerned with the occult past, the depth of the past. And if she has to solve the problem of this creation, she must go back to the origin of this creation and see the trace where from all the difficulties have arisen, and she has to tackle them. Now that is something remarkable. To deal with the past, see, that only great yogi can do it. Deal with the past. Savitri is a super yogini, and she is going back to the origin of things to see the origin of the past itself, where from, what is the past, what is the ache, what is the problem. She finds that at the roots of life, there is the evil, there is the pain, there is the suffering. At the root of life itself, there is pain. So unless that root of life is tackled, that pain is tackled, that evil is tackled, she cannot solve the problem at all. So she is going back to the original cause of that evil which is present at the root of life, and she has to tackle there, you see. So Savitri is awakening to that kind of a thing. The moment she awakes to that possibility, to that thing, what does she see? She at once notices that, yes, at that moment of time, she sees three disputants: earth, love, and doom. Earth, the center of evolution. Love, the divine presence itself in the inconscience. And doom, the hostile force which will not allow things to move forward. They are all present there, and there is a constant struggle there. Now it is from that point onward, now Savitri has to carry out the work.